Your success in your job interview will depend largely on how well you have prepared for it. In this section, we will cover some key activities to consider prior to an interview. It is important to research the company prior to your interview. Here, your goal is simply to learn more about the company that you're interested in joining. Some of the questions you should keep in mind while you do your research include, for example, what do the financial reports tell you about the company? What is the company history? What are the main products and services? Who are the customers? Who are the competitors? What is the company culture? What are the current and future challenges that face the company and department? The Internet, publications, periodicals, and journals are good places to start your research. For example, are they on Globe and Mail's report on business magazine's 50 biggest companies by revenue? Or perhaps the 50 best employers in Canada? Be resourceful and creative in your research. For example, try conducting a site visit. A good way to get a sense of the company culture is taking a walk through the facilities. If they have one, the cafeteria or lunchroom is a good place for this. Ask yourself, are there more people than expected? Are there less? Are people working through their lunch break? A site visit may provide you a good sense of the work atmosphere. Another good way to get a sense for the employee-management relationship is by looking at the employee union bulletin boards. The questions to ask yourself include, what are the current employee issues? How are they resolving them? Are they collaborating to work the issues out? Or are they seeking legal recourse through a third party? Again, the point I'm trying to make here is to be resourceful and creative in your research methods. Get the interview details, including the name and title of the interviewer. Is this a panel interview? What are the names and job titles of the panel members? How do you spell and pronounce the interviewer's names? What is the duration of the interview? How do you get there? Public transport? Driving? Where do you park? What's the hiring process? What are the time frames for the process? Who is the decision maker? Not only will this information be useful, but it can also help manage anxiety by reducing the unknowns. Although this point appears obvious, too often applicants arrive for interviews with outfits that look sloppy, too casual, or too provocative. Your appearance communicates a powerful message. Present a professional image. In some unique situations, it may be difficult to determine the appropriate interview attire. For example, suppose you are interviewing for a job with a young, hip company with a casual atmosphere. A good rule of thumb is to conform to the dress code of the work group, but to be slightly more formal. This way, you look like you fit in, but you also look like you are dressing for an interview. And if you are still in doubt, it is better to err on the side of caution and wear proper business attire that portrays a professional image, or just simply ask the interviewer about appropriate attire. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, surely a portfolio of your work is worth at least that much. Nothing shows the interviewer the quality of your work better than an organized portfolio. Presenting a portfolio to the interviewer is not only a great way to display your skills, but it can also help the interviewer remember you after the interview is over. So if you have a portfolio or work samples, don't hesitate to bring it to your interview. And if you don't have a portfolio, you may want to give some thought to creating one. So what's in the portfolio? A good portfolio consists of extra resumes, a pad and pen for note-taking, information about the company, questions to ask the interviewer, and work samples that correspond to the job. I wish I knew what questions they are going to ask. How often have you found yourself saying this after taking a test or going through an interview? The most important step before any interview is to predict what questions you may be asked and practice answering them. This will be covered in more detail later in the course. When was the last time you read your own resume? What did you write about the job you did 5 to 10 years ago? Interviewers ask questions based on your resume, so be familiar with the information presented to ensure you don't get caught off guard. It is important to know what knowledge, skills, and experience align you with the job requirements. By comparing your resume and the requirements in the job posting, you can determine any potential gaps and develop mitigating strategies. Also, review your resume to recall examples that demonstrate the listed requirements.